Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to review a module from the company Ludibrium Games, and I hope I'm saying that properly. Ludibrium, not positive. This is a module known as the Kingmaker, and I would first, full disclosure, I received this module as a review copy, so I did not pay anything for it. First comment is that the production values are excellent for a small gaming company. The artwork throughout, let me show you the cover here. Artwork throughout, I really like the artwork in this supplement. They also have quite a few illustrations of weapons in their products. I'm going to be reviewing a number of these over the next couple of weeks, and they do some really nice weapons and armor illustrations, which I appreciate. So I'll read you the little blurb on the back of the module, and we'll start from there. Tragedy has fallen on the kingdom of Embarge. The king is dead. Long live the king. But the kingdom's woes have only just begun. For the crown prince, the king's sole heir, is nowhere to be found. The fate of the kingdom rests on the deeds of a handful of wayward pilgrims in a far-off land. Kingmaker is a standalone fantasy role-playing adventure for 2 to 8 level 1 characters designed to fit perfectly into any old school campaign. So this is kind of ideally set up for a Labyrinth Lord style retro clone. Now, this module is the quintessential road trip. It is nothing but getting from point A to point B and what happens along the way. So this means you can dump this anywhere, which makes it really helpful. I mean, there are a few constraints, roughly the kind of the temperate zone and mountainous kind of areas, but they're everywhere in every campaign. Of course, the kingdom of Ambrage needs to be dumped down somewhere, or you could change that quite easily to another kingdom. So this is a very flexible module. I really appreciate the fact that it is so easily placed anywhere, since it is essentially mapless. Though it does come with some counters that you can use for you can print out and use for the encounters that are in the adventure, which I thought was kind of nice. Just little, they don't have any pictures of it, just like names and some very basic stats and stuff, which are very handy. Now, the way this is set up, and the reason I put it down is because there's not a whole lot to look at in here. For me, I don't need to look at the notes in here. It's a very simple setup, but in that simplicity, I really like the dynamic structure. There are staged and there are triggered encounters. Now, the staged encounters happen one after another. As the PCs have been hired by this caravan to help guard it, as they move along, you will hit different stages where different encounters will happen. So long as the caravan keeps moving, everything should be going along just fine. Then there are triggered encounters, and the triggered encounters happen when certain criteria are met. For example, if the PCs kill a certain number of bad guys, that will trigger one of the triggered events, one of the triggered encounters, and then it goes off from there. So wherever that happens depends on when the PCs trip that off. So that gives it a nice dynamic structure, because these things can be all over the place. They're not necessarily going to have to be set into like 1, 2, 3, 4. They can overlap. They can be in different places. They could never be used. The NPCs here are good. The people in the caravan are very well fleshed out. The NPC bad guys are very well done. They're interesting. There's a fair amount of depth in both cases, so you're not going to have to worry about these just cardboard characters you're playing with. You're going to actually have something to chew on there. Not everybody's good guys. Not everybody's bad guys. There are some moral quandaries in this adventure, and some of them are fairly gray. They're not necessarily black and white, which I liked. I thought that was interesting. Because, the characters can be heroes, but the characters don't have to be heroes, and those possibilities are present in this module. And if you pull this whole thing off, if the characters go from point A to point B and they get the whole mission done, there are multiple possible endings. And that was very well handled. Not just the fact that they existed, but the fact of how they handled them. Also, while the characters are being paid to be guards, you X number of silver or gold per day, whatever it is, there's a possible payout at the end of the adventure, and even long-term payouts that could happen, a number of years down the line. So this simple adventure could become part of the story arc in a campaign. And there's like no replayability in this to me, but there are some memorable PCs that could be used again. They could become components of a campaign, or they could be popped in to pull the characters back into another storyline, dealing with some of the same people that were in this adventure. So again, like I said, there's a lot of dynamic structure here. There's a lot of flexibility here. There's a lot of interest, a lot of plot seeds. They're all over the place. So I really liked this. I hope I'm giving you enough information to get basic gist of what the module is without giving you so much information that you're going to be spoiled and not be able to enjoy it as a player. But I liked the way it was written. I liked the art. I liked the quality of the overall product. I think they've done an excellent job here. Everything I've read of this VP people have sent me, I've enjoyed. I think they did a good job, and I'll be reviewing the rest of them probably in the next few weeks. So if you are any interest in this, I will put a link. I'll put the links in the down bar, so you can then find the product. Hope this was helpful.